You know, I am, of course, a Southern lady, and growing up in the South, there were a few things that were important to us. Certainly, we learned about manners. We sure like men, and we like money. But when we started thinking about all the years, and when they talk about all the things that I have been privileged to be a part of, is I really have been privileged to know the giants in my industry of broadcasting. And in starting the things that we did, I think I thought about what could I do with this golden season of my life. So when you get on up into your 60s, you're thinking, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And for me, in starting this Genuine Pearl Girl, it was very easy. I am surrounded by different fragrances of friendships around the world, globally. And for me, when we started with this that you'll get later is of the Genuine Pearl Girls, is I thought about the strand that the pearls hang on. And the strand is really our life. And I thought about the different colors of pearls that would make a difference to form our own unique strand. And for you guys, we need you to support our Genuine Pearl Girls and what we do. For me, in starting out, I want you to know that is with the white pearls of life was about starting over for me. Now, if we were at church, I'd be giving you some scriptures, but we're not at church. We're at this beautiful setting here in Malibu. But in starting over, this reminds me of a story I wanted to share with you. I grew up from a long line of storytellers in Alabama, and from this was that at 8:07, about maybe 15 years ago, I was thinking, I've been through kind of a tough season, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? At 8:07, one Sunday morning, I was literally praying and thinking about it, and I look up on a bookshelf in my bedroom, and I see this book by Dr. Francis Latour, and it's called The Gift of Encouragement. And I thought, aha, that is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a gift of encouragement. And I learned this from a physician friend of mine, Dr. Patrick Daugherty. If you're doing what you're supposed to do in life, it's not really working. It's just living a peaceful, wonderful life. So as I found this gift of encouragement, I went to the book and I picked up this little square box, and it was a silver box with a beautiful gold bow. And I opened it, and I hadn't touched this in a long time. And it was stopped at 8:07. And I thought, if you believe in signs, I thought something must be about to happen at 8:07. Well, I'd had a book out there for a couple of years, and it was called A Country Music Christmas. Any of you country music stars out there? Like those country music stars? All right. And I had been working with an agent in New York City, and that next morning, believe it or not, it was on my radio, and my clock said 8:07. I got a phone call from Harvey. He's from New York. He's, hi, this is Harvey. I'm your New York Jew friend. And this is the way he talked. And he'd go on and on. He was really funny. And he said, I've got a deal for you. And I said, so what is it? He said, Random House and Simon & Schuster are bidding over your book. I said, oh my gosh. He said, where are you? I said, I'm on Highway 65 and headed to Birmingham. And he said, wow. He said, I'm going to tell you how much money, so I don't know if I want you driving or not. Superhero. But I'm telling you, I said, well, just a minute, Harvey. I pull over on the side of the road on 65. I lay the phone down, and I run around my car screaming. So I get back in the car and say, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong? I said, Harvey, women in the South are very dramatic. So as he proceeded to tell me more of this, what it would take to take the number off the table, I said, well, Harvey, this is more money than I've ever made in a year, and I'm freaking out. He said, well, tell me what I do. I got to do it now. So I give him another larger number, and I tell him what I want. And he says, well, where'd you learn to negotiate like that? I said, honey, I grew up in a little place called Burnout, and nothing was happening in Burnout. So I said, I learned how to maneuver in the city traffic. Anyway, he calls me back within 15 minutes. I got the largest deal I'd ever gotten, way over 6 figures several times. And I thought, I'm not anybody. I'm just a regular little girl working hard in Alabama. And I was so blessed. Well, I called Buddy Killen, who's to do this book with me, immediately, and I said, Buddy, you still going to do this book with me? And he said, what are you talking about? And I tell him, and then I tell him how much money it is. And he says, wow. I said, now you're rich, you don't need this money. But here's what I want to do. I said, let's give half of this money to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And with not even a beat, he said, it shall be did. And we did. And I said, I am a 3-time cancer survivor. And I understand the importance of what they do every day to make life better for someone else. And so, with things when you're giving back, it makes such a difference. So that white pearl was so precious for me to get a chance. I had no idea what that was going to be. Terry's a part of it. I have several great women like Brigadier General Wilma Bont. She was the first woman decorated as a Brigadier General. And she raised over $10 million to build the Women's Memorial as you go into the gateway of Arlington Cemetery. How cool is that? So we, interviewing all these wonderful ladies, I can tell you one of the fun ladies that I got to interview. Do you remember Phyllis Diller? Okay. Well, Phyllis and I were certainly sisters of kindred spirits. And I was so privileged to get to interview her because as a young girl growing up in the South, I was a rah-rah cheerleader. And at the clinics, I used to dress up like Phyllis Diller. Imagine someone wanting to dress up like Phyllis. But I dressed up like Phyllis Diller, and I would have my long stem cigarette holder. And I would have a boa. And so driving to Brentwood to do this interview, I had Link to take me. This is my son Link, who is an actor. And on the way over, Link says, you're not going to embarrass me, are you? Now, you know a mother would not embarrass her child, right? Of course not. Well, a good old theater girl would have her props, right? So in my bag, I had a few props, just in case. And so when we were sitting there with Phyllis Diller, she says, well, I understand you do a little Phyllis. And so I said, well, yeah, I did a little Phyllis when I was growing up. And she said, did you make any money off of me? I said, a little bit. And she said, well, there's a painting right there on my wall. I painted one just like that last night and sold it for $10,000. I said, Phyllis, I'm not buying that other painting. So we're doing an interview, and she says, before we start now, I want you to do a little Phyllis for Phyllis. So would y'all like to hear a little Phyllis?
Yes.
Link, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassing you again. So, for any of you that do not remember, there was a commercial, being an old ad agency person as I am, there was a snowy bleach, you know, and there was a commercial that she did, she would go, and I want you to know this was Fang's shirt with a hole in it, okay? We'll improvise today. Hi, new snowy bleach. If you knew my husband Fang, you knew he didn't do this when he flexed his muscles, cause he uses both his hands to drink his milk, and I still have to cut his meat. Girls, get you snowy bleach. It's the one night detergent for you. Anyway,